Ok ragazzi, dopo aver avuto uno dei tanti spiegoni nell'ultimo video è arrivato il momento di andare avanti e vedere che cavolo salta fuori. Altri spiegoni sicuramente.
Okay, let's get started then. Ready?
E siamo prontissimi.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Mazza che ansia però così ragazzi. Oh mio Dio! Cosa? Infatti, oddio, ci stavo pensando prima di iniziare il video, che dicevo, Sigma, cavolo, tu sai che Kay ha la tua stessa faccia e non dice fai niente? Se l'ho dimenticato, gli è venuto in mente adesso. Te stesso. Oh mamma, un altro! Oh mio Dio, ma che colpi, basta! Oddio, potrebbe essere un'altra persona!
You finally noticed.
È cane che è dentro
Didn't
l'armatura?
I tell you? You won't be alone. I will be at your side, watching over you.
Oh mio Dio!
Yes, I am.
No! No!
Akane Korashiki.
È veramente... No, ma mi fa morire questa cosa, però veramente, ragazzi, oddio!
It's you!
June!
I mean, Akane, from... But you're old.
Come Junpei Tenmyoji, uguale!
Yes, that's correct. I haven't spoken to you in a very long time, Clover. Or you, Junpei.
Junpei?
Madonna!
Kane, long time
Madonna!
no see.
Aiuto!
When?
Sigma,
How long?
mi raccomando non mi collassare, che qua già è difficile. Ecco.
Do you remember when the two of you saved me in the warehouse?
Sì.
Once you saved me, you went back to your future. Well, your minds did at least.
Sì.
I carried your bodies to the third AB room and then took Dio's to the fifth. After that, I went into the first room and borrowed Kay's armor.
So by the time you and Clover came out, you'd already...
Yes.
Ma veramente?
No, it was me. In this timeline, at least. In this one, I wasn't murdered by Dio. You two saved me.
Mamma mia.
It's just like Schrodinger's cat.
Che bordello.
Your actions in the future decided who would be inside the armor in the past.
All right, what about the other history? The one where you weren't saved. What happens then? Who's wearing the armor?
That's quite simple. The man in front of you.
Him?
Ok.
That's correct. Whenever I'm not in the armor, he is.
What about the memory loss?
Ma what about il fatto che sono due persone uguali? Cioè veramente non ci stiamo focalizzando su questa cosa?
For my part, I confess that I lied. He, on the other hand, was telling the truth. Large doses of soporil can cause memory loss. I gave him a rather large dose.
So, who is he?
Tipo,
You've never seen him before?
No.
What about the rest of you?
I have no idea who he is.
I've never seen him before.
Me either.
Total stranger.
ma sono io! Oh mio Dio, oddio, cosa cavolo?
Are you all right, Mr. Sigma? Did you hit your head or something?
No, no, ragazzi, oh mio Dio, non ho quella faccia?
Sigma, your consciousness can jump through time. You can inhabit your body in the past or in the future.
Cavolo, sono invecchiata?
Don't you get it? You've jumped to the future from 45 years ago.
Oh signore! Oh, allora è vero, noi siamo zero! Ma cazzo! Oh mio Dio!
It's your face, Dr. Sigma Klein.
Oh Dio!
Although to the you that's behind it now, it's your face 45 years from now.
Siamo invecchiati un po' male, Sigma, ti dirò,
Zero, the mastermind of the AB project, is you.
Gesù, ragazzi, no! È tutto vero!
No, it's the truth.
Fa piacere.
Fighting it isn't going to do you any good. Please, Doctor.
Ma dottore sto cavolo!
You will be a pioneer in the field of genetic engineering.
Oh, Madonna.
No, I'm not. You created him.
Ritorniamo alla storia dei cloni?
Well, I suppose I should say you are going to create him. His name is Kyle Klein.
Ah, Kyle per Kyle, certo.
Your clone. That is why he looks just like a younger version of yourself. 23 years ago, in the biolab here in Rhizome 9, you created Kyle.
Madonna, che casino.
Well, I suppose for you, that's still in the future. When I said I was born and raised here, I was still pretending to be him.
E fin qua, ok, questo pezzo ce l'abbiamo, quindi la coscienza di Sigma giovane ha fatto il jump nel futuro e adesso è nel corpo di Sigma vecchio. E quindi lui ancora non sa perché è ancora il giovane, anche se nel corpo del vecchio. Che casino, aiuto.
The gravity here is only 1/6 of Earth, if nothing was done. The reduced gravity would cause his bones to be weaker than normal human ones. But you prepared for that. You gave him that armor. Ever since he was born, he's lived inside of it. It kept his muscles and bones strong. He wasn't forced into it for the nonary game. He's been wearing it every day, all his life. He was to be your spare. If something happened to you before the project began, he would take your place.
E questo già in realtà c'era stato detto. Oh mio Dio.
I mentioned before that the AB projects A and B stood for after and before. That isn't all they mean, though. The A also means anima, and the B means body. Anima is another word for the soul, or the consciousness. Body is, well, exactly what it says on the tin. The past consciousness will go into the future body, and the future consciousness will go into the past body. They switch.
Madonna.
That was the chief goal of the project.
Sì.
Sigma, do you remember the note you found in the garden?
No, quindi fatemi vedere. Quale?
You mean this, right?
Yes.
Ah, è vero che c'è scritto.
Ah, of course, it was you who investigated the garden in this timeline.
Yeah.
Sigma, take a good look at this. It's an illustration of the time jumps your consciousness is making. A is where everything began.
Ok.
December 25th, 2028.
Ok, quello della macchina.
You inhaled the white smoke in your car and lost consciousness. From there, you jumped to B. January 25th, 2074. You woke up in one of the AB rooms in Rhizome 9. You are in your own body, but it is 67 years old.
Quindi Fai mi ha sempre visto vecchio, cioè tutti mi hanno sempre visto vecchio.
Your consciousness has jumped 45 years into the future. I believe that may explain why you didn't notice the reduced lunar gravity. The body you woke up in was much older. Normally, you would have noticed that your muscles were much weaker. In this case, however, the lower gravity balanced that out. Moving on, if you continue along this line, what happens next? You reach C, which is January 27th, 2074. That is today.
Whoa. Wait, what do you mean? Are you saying it's been 2 days since we woke up?
36 hours to be exact. Have you already forgotten? You were all infected with Radical 6. The virus slowed your brain down, so yes, 36 hours of real time have passed. But to you, it only seemed like 14 hours and 40 minutes.
Mamma.
Now comes the important part. After this, your consciousness will return to the past. It will re-emerge at point D. April 13th, 2029. You will return to your younger body.
Ok.
But that's the same day as the reactor explosions.
Yes. That is why I said it will be too late. You will return to the past, but the events you would want to prevent will have already happened.
Sì, ma che cavolo di casino. Non so se sono in grado di processare anche queste altre informazioni, veramente.
The story does not end there, however.
Immaginavo.
The line continues. After reaching point D, you will eventually return to B.
Oh, ma mi sono un attimo persa, porca miseria.
But this time, you won't be jumping through time, or at least not at a rate faster than normal. Your consciousness will spend 45 years inhabiting the same body, until you reach point B. Do you remember when B is, Sigma? Correct. That was when the consciousness of the 22-year-old Sigma jumped into the body of 67-year-old Sigma. So where did the older version of you go when you took his body? Yes. His consciousness will go back in time 45 years. For a period of time, he will inhabit your younger body. While your younger consciousness is elsewhere, he will be you in the past. That's correct. When that happens, the older version of you will be ejected from your younger body and return to your body at sea.
Oh signore, va bene.
Rotating. I suppose you could put it that way.
Sì, per chi ci sta capendo qualcosa, sì.
But look at this illustration closely. What if you take all these lines and untangle them? You get one single line. It may look complicated, but in truth, it's a single straight path. With one exception. Exactly. Point E is December 31st, 2028, the day of the total eclipse. Yes.
Ok.
By now, you've likely figured it out on your own. The purpose of the AB project was to get the consciousness of the 67-year-old Sigma from point B to point A. If we can do that, we can change what happened 45 years ago. Yes, that is why this line could not be interrupted. In order for the 67-year-old version of you to reach point B, we first have to go through point D. In order to get to point D, we must jump from point C, and for point C to happen, we had to recreate everything that happened in this facility. That is why we have faithfully retraced history up to this point, so that we might save humankind from destruction and undo the horrors of the last 45 years.
Madonna, ma che casino. Aiuto.
What is that? Yes, that's right. Very soon, yes. We need potential energy stored to send your consciousness into the fourth dimension.
Quindi servono gli Esper.
Fortunately, we now have plenty of that, thanks, ironically, to Radical 6. All that remains is to launch your consciousness, like a bullet from a slingshot. Didn't I tell you? A crisis. A moment balanced between life and death. That can jumpstart your brain. You haven't figured it out. I mean this.
Oh mamma, adesso parte una cosa brutta, me lo sento. Appunto. Oddio! Oddio mio! Si è buttato. Oh mamma mia. Perché c'è la musica del finale? Così, cioè io devo quindi capire che dopo questa cosa Sigma salta, salva il mondo, tutto bello, tutto fantastico e basta? Non posso saltare i titoli di coda, ovviamente, no. Allora. Oh mamma mia, aiuto. Cosa dire? Cosa cavolo dire? Che casino, l'ho già detto altre volte, ma va assolutamente ripetuto perché è veramente un casino allucinante, ma come lo era stato anche per il primo gioco, e come suppongo anche il terzo. Tra l'altro io ho guardato il trailer del terzo, Zero Time Dilemma, se non ricordo male si chiama così, e nel trailer si vede per un attimo il flow. Se possibile è ancora più incasinato e lungo di questo. Quindi porca miseria, cioè sicuramente farò passare un attimo di tempo prima di giocarlo, perché un gioco così lungo e forse anche più bisogna essere molto molto convinti. Ora, tra l'altro sta musica è una figata, quindi si ascolta anche volentieri. Sto guardando anche tutte le varie immagini per vedere se colgo qualcosa di più, però che dopo i titoli di coda ci deve essere qualcosa. Deve, punto. Anche perché non si possono skippare, quindi io mi auguro ci sia qualcosa anche di utile. E porca miseria, no, veramente oddio, ci sono stati 5 milioni di plot twist e di certo non mi sarei aspettata di trovare me da vecchio. Oddio, una volta che sai di essere Zero, sì, effettivamente tutto torna. Io voglio vedere, quindi funzionerà questa cosa? Andrò indietro, fermerò il Radical 6, fermerò tutto e tutto diventa bellissimo e fantastico? Però mi chiedo, quelle linee temporali svaniscono o rimangono comunque e la gente che si trova in quella linea temporale si frega? Boh, se comincio... Oddio! Oddio. Time after time. Mi fa piacere. E quindi... No, basta, se io faccio così... Oddio, ragazzi. Pevoli non è finita per niente. Che disastro, ragazzi.
Today is April 13th, 2029, and this is the evening news. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't have any news to read. All of our station's reporters have passed after contracting Radical 6.
Perfetto, insomma.
So have my... Excuse me. I've managed to keep us on the air until now. But I'm out of tricks. It's time for me to sign off. This concludes our broadcast day. I pray that someday our world can be cleansed of this horrible plague. Goodbye.
Oh, mamma mia. Ciao anche a te. Oh, mamma mia. Tipo con una Oddio, a cane! Da giovani, tra l'altro.
It looks like the first step was successful.
Sì.
Killed? Hey, no need to be rude about it.
Beh, sai.
I didn't kill you. I hit you with the butt of the knife. You're fine. Yes, you and Phi needed to experience a state of crisis. That was the only way. Yes, I only told you about you, but we also needed Phi to jump.
E ok. Ah, ci sono i pod qui.
Now, you know what happens next, right? Correct. We will be leaving tomorrow, April 14th, 2029. We've nearly finished preparing your shuttle. Only a few last-minute checks and additions. You'll be traveling to Rhizome 9, along with 3 treatment pods. Yes.
Quelli sono quelli della stanza.
Phi. We put her into cold sleep 2 days ago. She appeared at our headquarters and volunteered to be frozen. That wasn't the Phi who jumped from point C, though. It was Phi before she jumped from point A to point D.
Madonna.
In other words, she was following the same path you are, and she still is. Yes, the point C version of Phi is sleeping in that pod. She'll stay there for the next 45 years, sleeping in ice.
Allora... Ok.
Correct. We can't do that. You haven't figured it out? You have to spend the next 45 years working on the AB project. After arriving at Rhizome 9, you must master genetic engineering and artificial intelligence programming, among other disciplines.
Una cosina, una roba da niente, insomma.
Otherwise, you will be unable to create Kyle, Luna, and Lagomorph.
Lagomorph volentieri si poteva evitare.
And, of course, you will need to develop the chromatic doors and the bracelets. You will also be the person who summons Tenmyoji and Quark. Once you've completed all the preparations, then the project can actually begin. January 25th, 2074. You will defrost Phi and carry her to the third AB room. Once you've done that, the 22-year-old version of you from point A will force you out, and you'll just go back 45 years to your own body on December 25th, 2028. You have to. If you don't, billions of people will die.
Proprio una cosa da niente, anche qua poca ansietta.
Only you and Phi can save them. I can't do anything on my own. If this is going to work, I'll need your help. What do you mean? You'll both enter the Mars mission test site. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Bene.
I really don't know anything about what happens in there. We don't know how the Radical Six escaped. We don't even know why it was there in the first place. That's why we need your help. You have the ability to jump through time and across parallel worlds. We need you to figure out what happened in that test facility.
E andiamo.
Things will be difficult, and I'm sure you will find yourself in a great deal of danger.
Fantastico, sempre meglio, insomma.
But I believe the two of you can overcome any obstacle. The 67-year-old version of you told me what happened. He wasn't able to stop the virus. So I suppose you could say you told me, after you failed, that the test facility is full of traps.
Benone!
There was one point. A woman's life was in danger. You risked yourself for her sake, and lost your arms and your right eye.
Ah, ecco perché ho le braccia bioniche. Oh, mamma mia, cioè, potevamo anche evitare di vedere sta cosa, però vabbè. Oh, mamma, aiuto.
Go have a look.
Perfetto, cominciano le bombe. E andiamo. Ce la faremo, forse. Come end or begin? Cosa mi sta... Perché continuate a trollarmi? Perché continuate a trollarmi? Se torni indietro? Finito? No, non è vero. No, infatti, se noi andiamo giù, tra tra ta ta ta, ta, più giù, qua c'è un altro pezzo. Oh signore. Another time, quando? Dove? Ok, ma qua...
Where?
Ah, e qua abbiamo la voce da vecchio.
I see you've finally woken up, Kyle.
Ah no, Kyle.
Kyle.
Ah, yes.
Kay.
Of course. You've only just woken up in this timeline. It's only natural for some of your memories to be missing.
Oh, mamma mia. Appunto.
Kyle Climb. So, I'm Dr. Climb? Zero Senior's clone?
Esatto.
What? How do you know that? Shouldn't you still be suffering from amnesia?
Allora, qua continua a diventare sempre più lunga la situa, tra l'altro. Quindi... boh. Ah, Tara! Allah Dio!
What day is today?
January 27th, 2074.
Today is the last day of the AB project. Akane has explained everything in the garden. And she drew a knife and attacked Phi. How long have I been asleep?
About 5 hours in real time. For them, it would have seemed like a little more than 2 hours.
So they still haven't been treated for their Radical 6?
No, they've all been given the antiviral. It just takes a while to have an effect.
I see. So the consciousness of the younger Sigma has gone back into the past. It should have happened right after Akane attacked Phi, right?
Yes,
Why am I here?
the doctor carried you back here. You were in the pod in the garden.
Ah, giusto, è vero che Mongola che era nel pod.
So the person you call the doctor is Sigma Klein, as inhabited by his age-appropriate consciousness.
Yes, but how do you know that?
Dio seems to have remained unconscious.
Yes. I've been administering Soparil whenever he gets restless.
What about the others?
They've all gone off to different areas.
Ah.
Tenmyoji and Quark, for instance.
Oh,
No, ok ragazzi, non riesco per niente a capire quanto ancora ci possa essere, quindi salviamo, ci fermiamo e boh, al prossimo giro vediamo un attimo cos'altro accadrà. Alla prossima.